Hello everybody, my name is Adam. Welcome to another slingshot making mission. We're making these from the beginning. I was drawing out the template on some graph paper. It looked like somebody else's frame, so I had to change 7 things about it and make it a little more unique looking. I ended up coming up with this design, and I liked it so much that I used this design to make one out of G10, and that's what this video is about. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy my content. Please like and subscribe. So once the aluminum template was finished, I was using some painter's tape to adhere to the G10 and the template with some crazy glue, and once that was dry, I could go around the entire circumference of the template with the drill press and a drill bit. This glue part is going to all come apart once I'm finished cutting it out, but it just helps to speed the process up a little bit, so I just did it this way this time. So once I take it to the bandsaw, I'm just removing all the pits. I don't know what to call them, that's what I just call them, is pits, the little spaces in between the holes. And then once that was done, I cut up some more material. Now you got to think $30 for that piece of G10. Now I'm using another $30 piece of Micarta here, which is a little bit thinner, but I still like to drill holes through it because it's easier to cut and saves me on a lot of blade usage. Blades are expensive as well. Once that was done, I took it over to the router and played with my router a little bit. I started to feel unsafe with it. I'm not that experienced with it, but I do what I can. And once I was done with that, I took it back over to the sander and I started to shape it. I glued all the pieces together, and once the epoxy was dry, I continued to remove a lot of the dried epoxy and make sure that the shaping was to what I desired. And then of course I bounced around between a lot of sanders and sanding, and once I was satisfied, I had to start on the fork tips, which I tried to make as even as possible. And then once those were done, I started to do the band slots, everybody's favorite part. Make slingshots. Anyways, it does make it look nice. They're not completely necessary, but it does make the frame look a lot more fulfilled, I guess would be the word. And then of course I like to make my own mosaic pins. I should do a video on this, actually, is making my own mosaic pins. And then once it was dry, of course there's a lot more epoxy to take off and remove, and just make sure that the shaping was all right. And then I started to sand it at 220 grit. And this is where I see a lot of my flaws, and I want to fix now before I continue on sanding once again from 220 grit up to 3000 grit. Don't always have to go that high, but I do. And once that was done, I took it over to the buffer. Everybody likes a shiny slingshot. I don't know why. Some knife handles don't get shined up and they look fantastic. Newest frame I finished up. It's got some black teal micarta, handmade mosaic pin, black micarta, blue G10. She's pretty. She's pretty. Not too big, not too small.